Where is she? She's that way. Those are representing their colleagues. And why you have chosen them, I will soon expound on it. The DCCRs, Mwiko wapi? Can you stand up for recognition? These DCCRs, they mean District Census Commissioner representatives. When they reached down, they removed the representative, they became District Census Commissioners. And they did extremely well. They represented the Census Commissioner. They had the powers to fire any indisciplined supervisor or enumerator, and I think some of them did so. We had sub-county supervisors who were largely sub-county chiefs. Enumeration supervisors, many picked from the sub-county. These were the community development officers and the parish chiefs to some extent. Then the census enumerators. We have 3 enumerators of the decade, because we conduct census once and they depicted excellent performance. Number 1, Rubega Lawrence. Where is he? The famous swimmer. Come in front here. Come with your DCO for recognition. He's from for the president to see you and wave. This is the gentleman from Kiribadia, Central B, Obuyende district. The one who was swimming while his supervisor was busy taking video. I took offense to the supervisor because instead of seeing how he can reach safely, he was busy cheering him up. But we thank God he survived and reached the enumerator, the respondents at far off to reach. So thank you very much, and for that matter, we agreed that you will be our permanent enumerator in hard to reach areas. Starting from today. The next one is a heroine, Abeno Sharon. Come here also. Kalenge, Galilaya, Kayunga district. Is she here? She didn't come. You come and represent her. But you wanted her to come and see her. She was also doing similar things, but the good thing is that with them they did not publicize it. She was also wading through murky waters. This one was the supervisor, was the district census officer, Kayunga district. What's your name? Judith Nakayote from Kayunga. The good thing is that our minister is from Kayunga, so you may earn a promotion very soon. You can go back. The third one is representing a group from Masaka who went to Gwamba Islands in Bukakata, and they are sort of feared to have been kidnapped. Where is she? With the DCO. Can you come over? Nagawa Dimpuna. You come and the president sees you. Quickly. Those ones almost made me reach to CDF to send the mariners. But towards the 6:30, they told me their phones had now come back online and they were safe. So these two exemplify the determination and dedication the enumerators had to have everyone counted. And whenever they would have challenges, I would see them saying, it matters to be counted, and it moved them on. Then we have the number one enumerator. Now, where is my number one enumerator? Vincent Senono, you can remain there. Your Excellency, I'm sure you are familiar with this face now. He asked you tough questions and you also responded to all of them. And again, after that, he became an analyst, and thanks to him, we are going to get these results out today. So congratulations, Vincent. And your team. The team is the one clapping for him. And of course, the census management team and EXCOM seated there. Thank you. And the entire UBOS family. Finally, we want to send our gratification to the public. For the first time, I saw every Ugandan, everybody who lived in Uganda on census night, looking for us to be counted. And when it reached the 8th day, they were all worried that they were not going to be counted, those who had not been reached, especially in Greater Kampala metropolitan area. When we extended, thanks to the cabinet again, because on Monday I ran to cabinet and asked for an extension which was granted, they were filled with the relief, as if we are taking some goodies to them. So we want to thank them for having embraced census, and we did not disappoint. Your Excellency, they sent me one thing, and this message was very consistent, that you are counting us, but what shall we benefit? Go and tell your government to use this data to improve our livelihood. And so, having numbers is one thing, but using the numbers to have an impact is another thing. So we are calling upon the government, private sector, cultural leaders, religious leaders to use this data to improve the livelihood of Ugandans. With that, they know now the response rate will be increasing when you go to visit them again. To the results, I have a PowerPoint presentation. I will summarize some. That is the outline. We go. Here we are just saying that the population is the largest peacetime national operation to be taken. And that statement is very important. Peacetime. Countries that don't have peace never conduct censuses. Now, all corners of Uganda are peaceful, and we managed to conduct this census successfully. Thanks again to the stewardship of your government, Mr. President. Census is the main source of demographic and socio-economic data and statistical information for planning and evidence-based decision-making. The demographic and social data were collected from households, institutions, and communities. Your Excellency, honorable ministers and members here, this census had the longest household and community questionnaire. We had so many questions, around 168 questions in the household questionnaire, and it was intended to get a very comprehensive data set. We had got an opportunity and we used it. The community questionnaire also was very long and comprehensive because we wanted to get all community information that will be required for planning and implementation of the flagship program, PDM. And we hope with this census, PDM will be structured using the comprehensive data to make positive impact. We have a story, the journey. I don't know whether the presentation is, yes. The census was conducted under Uganda Bureau of Statistics Act, 1999, Cap 310, Section 13, where the minister directed Uganda Bureau of Statistics to undertake the census. This census was the 11th census to be conducted in Uganda. The first one was in 1911. It was the 60th post-independence census and the first digital census to be conducted. Everybody was worried that what if, I remember my minister, when he came, we were flagging off materials, he said, do you have some paper as a backup? I told him, Honorable Minister, it is digital. I was more courageous than him on that one. And indeed, the digital census happened from 10th of May to 26th May 2024. We visited 11 million households. Some households were vacant, especially for those maybe who are in the city and in the areas. They go there once in a while, like some of us. Other households had people who could have left Uganda after the census night for a visit, and they didn't leave anybody behind. So we ended up with around 10.89 million households, which is an increase from 7.2 million households that we covered in the 2014. Now we're in the third phase of data processing, quality assurance, dissemination, and utilization of tablets after census. These tablets we used, we procured 120,000 tablets, and they're going to be used across government after census. Every parish will have at least one tablet to continue updating the community information system, whose benchmark data is this community questionnaire, and will be done by local governments. My only caution to local governments is to make sure that they look after these equipments very cautiously, because we have started losing power banks. The district officials should find these power banks and some of the computers that they are keeping within their jurisdiction before we give them enough tablets for parish. Then the other ones will be used for identification of voters by Electoral Commission. We shall use some in updating births and death register by NERA. And the rest will be used for our usual census operations. So, we did door-to-door enumeration. The reference night was 9th May. Your Excellency, your council of saying 9/10 does not happen. I was thinking, how will I tell my my peers, because with them they think the night has 2 nights. But it came to reality when that day came, I saw everybody knew it was 9th, and it was actually 9th. It was 9th until midnight, and the people did not care that there was 10th in it. But we started that reference night. We had 135,230 field workers, of which 115,845 were enumerators, 14,668 were enumeration supervisors, 4,715 sub-county or division supervisors. That was the army I commanded for the first time. And they are being supervised by the group, the DCCRs and the DCOs, under the direct supervision of the Census Committee at our district. We had 5 sets of questionnaires. Household questionnaire was the longest. We had institutions questionnaire, which the forces used, and also those who are in schools and hospitals and the mines, those who are in camps. Then accommodation questionnaire, this one was mainly used in hotels. We had a floating questionnaire, which was used only once at the census night. There are those who are saying we are never counted, yet we counted them floating on the streets of Kampala, wherever in the cities. And then the community questionnaire. While we were enumerating, data was being uploaded directly on Tubo's server. We had a cloud server created by my staff. James Kiza and your team, can you stand up for recognition? The digital solutions team. While we procured they call it hyperconvergence, we could not rush to it before we know. So we had a protected cloud server, and I think we are the first national census office to do that while conducting census. And that data has safely been evacuated to the servers that we have, and also protected somewhere. We have a backup. We had special areas that were covered by Uganda Prison Services, Uganda Police Force, UPDF, Ministry of Foreign Affairs for diplomatic missions, OPM, enumerated refugee settlements, and we had island and offshore communities and cities. Cities became a problem, Your Excellency. Especially Kampala, we classify Wachiso as a city, Mukono. To the extent that on the 4th day we noticed problems, and I had to deploy special forces. I remember consulting General Mugume, and he said, right. I consulted the Afande Beine, he says, right. And the Nanga here. So immediately they gave us the people, and we had also special enumerators who have trained, who have been doing surveys. They joined forces and took over Greater Kampala metropolitan area and accomplished it very well. Thank you very much for your work. Challenges we faced. Hard to reach areas. You have seen these enumerators, islands, mountainous areas also, where we had just experienced landslides, like Wanyangawo district, and the usual suspect in Bududa. It was hard to reach. Yeah, that lady is here, that one. The one they have not blocked. She's called Sharon Aveno. That is in Galilaya. Then we had the Greater Kampala metropolitan area. It is near but hard to reach, hard to access. It gave us a headache. We also had a problem of failure to access households. Some households negated in the gates. There was one who, I think, was it a police officer, who was beaten by a dog? Prisons, yes, in Chanja. And another lady in Nakawa. Then unavailable respondents, especially single persons households, the householders who wake up very early, come back late. So those are the 0.8% that you could not get information from. We had refusals. The biggest culprits were religious cults. And these cults are mainly predominant in Busoga region, almost all districts in Busoga. But their grand cult is in Mayuge. They call themselves Ngiri Nkaru, that they have very conk gospel, more than the one of Apostle Serwada. Those ones would say we are counted by God, we can't be counted and submit to the earthly people. But these ones, again, police cracked down on some of them, those who deliberately refused for unknown reasons. We also had a problem of geography, of some areas that were not uploaded on our system. So at first I would hear that village is missing. I say, how can a village miss when it is a physical feature there? That the whole parish is missing. Until on the third day when I knew that they were not being reflected. And therefore they could not be enumerated because we had rights to access every village. Until when again that team we have seen, we sat and said, no, let's create generic logins so that they can assign, and we did that. Now there is a bigger problem of internal border conflicts. One of them is Apa. There is a conflict between Amur and Ajumani. Is Winnie Ochaya here? You come here and the president sees you. Apa had become Apa. We had failed to penetrate Apa. Until when I got this lady, Winnie Ochaya volunteered to be a coordinator. They told me I would penetrate. Because if I would send, they would say, no way. No way. We tried to send the UPDF to protect. They said, no way, we can't give information. Until when this lady showed up, and she did the one for the job. She counted 100% apart, together with her team. Can go back. Then another conflict is Palalo, between Guru, local government and Amuru. That one, the district secretary team sat and agreed to pick some few enumerators from Amuru, the other ones from Guru, and they enumerated. But it also took us about 6 days to resolve that conflict. Then we have a conflict between Yumbe and Obongi. In the villages of Sabuka or parish called Ombechi or Kochi. In Yumbe they call it Ombechi. Then in Obong they call it Legu. The same place is being called different name and being claimed by either of the districts. They actually arrested our enumerator and was sued after 2 days. There's another one which is simmering and it almost brought problems between Kabarore and Ntoroko. This is a village called Nyamisingiri. Kabarore people say it is theirs, it is a village. But people of Ntoroko are saying it is a whole parish. It is occupied by Bakonjo, and that the Bakonjo from Ntoroko are trying to capture it. So, Excellency, I think the Ministry of Local Government and Lands need to resolve this conflict. I saw you established a commission for APA. We want to see the numbers in APA and advise how it can be managed administratively going forward after seeing the numbers. Nevertheless, with those conflicts, we enumerated all of those areas, 100%. 100%, why? Because LOCs have also certified that my village has been completed 100%. And also the system from our expectation is what we expected. Success stories. When the tablets became few, because of those villages that were missing, we told supervisors to use their phones in administering community questionnaire, and they did so. So that's one of the success stories. The comprehensive questionnaire has given us a lot of data. This time we have good data on mental status of the country. The Minister of Health will have a lot of work, and the community involvement officers. There are many Ugandans who need a lot of counseling and whatever. We are releasing the results exactly 31 days after closing the enumeration. That's a record. And Your Excellency, at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, we do what we say we shall do. We commit credibly to our promises. People are used to postponement, but for us, once we promise, we deliver on the same day. The cost, the census cost per capita, the cost of one enumerator, of one person to be enumerated, was $1.9, compared to $2.1 spent in Kenya, our neighbors. So ours was cheaper than Kenya. I'm yet to get Tanzania. I have my sister here, she'll tell me. I invited the Statistician General from the Republic of Tanzania. She'll tell me the cost they spent and compare, and I suspect ours was cheaper. Data. We have assessed the data quality corrected against the UN Joint Score Index. And you can see that graph. The green block shows you the accuracy, reliability of the data as agreed at the United Nations Statistical Commission. So the standard is 19.27. Now you can see the data of 2014 had 31.08. This one has moved to 26.7, which is closer. And therefore, our data is very reliable, accurate, and robust. We hope UN will not make noise again, that they have better census numbers than ours, because this is very accurate and robust indicator. The results. The results. What is the person giving the slide? There you are. Uganda's population is now 45.9 million, up from 34.6 million counted in 2014, meaning there is an increase by 11.3 million in the last 10 years. Now that number has refugees. So those are the refugees that were found on the census night in Uganda. 780,061. We go to another slide. The average household size is now 4.4 persons, down from 4.7 in the previous census. You can see the number of households that we have now compared to the households in the previous census. This is 2014, not 2012. And the growth rate is 2.9%. It has moved from 3%. And the demographers will tell us that this is showing the demographic transition we're undergoing. And this is one indicator of development progress that we're making. The family size is becoming smaller. Can we move? So this one shows us the trend from 1911 all the way through 2014 and 2024. It is apparent that every year we add 1.13 million people. Next. This is the sex. By sex, we have 51% females in our population. The males are fewer. If that one gives a chance to a person to do something, I don't know. Can you go to the pyramid? In blue are males, then the other one, the other color are females. And you can see it is normally distributed. We have many younger people. From the age 0 to 17 years is 50.5%. The youth, 18 to 30, they are 22.7%. Older person is the ones that the Honorable Jidudu represents, is 5%. He has a sizable number. And the workforce, those in working group, which is 1464, is 55.6%. This one, the population growth, is it? What is this? Distribution. That one academicians will discuss it. We move. We go to population in cities. In cities. Yes, here you are. We have two types of population in cities: day population and those who reside in cities. And this question we are getting it, this answer we are getting it when we asked you if you are in Kampala, which city you last visited in the last 14 days. Or if you are in Jinja or Mbarara or Fort Portal City. We wanted to know. So people would say, no, I work in Kampala and I live in Kampala, I stay here. So that would be their population. But those who come to, they are those who sleep and go elsewhere. They sleep in the city and go and work elsewhere. And the other way around. So we have the day population and night population. We'd like to conclude. I had already thanked the government. We had thanked public for their cooperation, patience, and they have been eagerly waiting for the results. What they're asking us to make an impact with these results. I've already thanked the enumerators. Now, next steps, we are going to undertake a post-enumeration survey. This one is a standard one to check the quality of the census data, its content, coverage next month. We are going to conduct further data analysis and a publication of final census results in September 2024. And mark our word, we live by our promise. After that, we shall produce and publish thematic reports, policy briefs, research papers, among others. We are going to go into projections now and estimates until when you conduct another census. We are going to update the geography to the village level, because now we have every household, every village georeferenced. And want to allocate to them where the local government ministry has said that village, that parish belongs. Now the problem is these conflict areas, especially Apa. After we have done this, we are going to upload data to the district city portals for use. The data is for the district, for local governments to use in planning. And also the central government for further use. We shall archive the data in November 2025. I had already talked about post-census utilization. With those results, Your Excellency, we now formally release the results for use, and we hope they will have an impact to the communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris Ndatira. Another big round of applause. Your Excellency, we continue to thank the Uganda Bureau of Statistics and the whole team that was behind this National Housing and Population Census, and we warmly receive the preliminary results. Your Excellency, some of the notable pieces of information is the results are fairly accurate, very near to the UN Joint Score Index. And together with us, we have Madame Susan Namondo, the UN resident coordinator, I think she was here, and the other heads of UN agencies, UNFPA, I think UNICEF, maybe the heads of UN agencies could stand for recognition, since the Census Commission has said you must be happy that the index, the UN index, is close to what we have also achieved. Your Excellency, the results show that the population continues to grow, and it is high fertility that facilitates this growth, although we see that Ugandans are continuing to make a decision to have a manageable family size, because the household size has reduced from 4.7 to 4.4, meaning when you do the analysis, even the fertility will show that it is coming down, and that means we are making steps in the demographic transition. Your Excellency, Dr. Ndadira said the annual population growth rate has dropped 2.9%. I was doing some demographic computations. This means the population doubling time is 24 years. At this rate, the population doubles every 24 years, from my knowledge of demography. Lastly, Your Excellency, the results indicate and confirm what we know, that the population of Uganda is largely young people. Children and young people constitute the biggest segment of our population, and that is significant in terms of planning and budgeting for this country. And also, as we all know, the females are more than the males. Your Excellency, at birth, more males are born compared to females. Actually, the sex ratio at birth is estimated that for every 100 females, there are 105 males who are born. But in life, more males die compared to females, for biological, social, and environmental reasons, which if we had time we would tell you. And the results have confirmed that the females are more than the males, although at birth we produce more males than females. That is also a statistical and demographic fact which we know. So we shall continue to discuss and explain these results to the population. But now, like the Commissioner has said, what remains is now to do deeper analysis, because there were many questions which were asked. They will be analyzed, and then we get a detailed report that answers many of the questions which were asked, so that we see the very many variables that we shall get, because the census is supposed to give us the number and also the characteristics of the population that lives in this country. On that note, may I invite the Honorable Amos Rugolobi, the Minister of State in charge of planning, to give us few remarks, and then invite His Excellency, the President, to give us his remarks. Honorable Amos Rugolobi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chris Baryomunsi. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, who was meant to be here, because as mentioned earlier, was the chair of the National Population Council, but she has sent her apologies and is not able to be here for other state duties. Colleagues, honorable ministers present, the chairman, board, and management of UBOS, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency and all distinguished guests, my role today is a simple one, because much of the information has already been given out, and my role is to request the next speaker to invite you to address the nation. But permit me, Your Excellency, in my capacity as the Minister in charge of statistics, to use the opportunity to congratulate you, Your Excellency, as the National Census Champion. Upon championing, upon the championing, Your Excellency, the National Census Champion, upon championing, 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 I think he deserves another round of applause, a bigger one. We thank you upon championing a successful national digital census, and I underscore the word digital census. And because we digitalized the census is the reason why we are here within a matter of weeks, just days. We thank Your Excellency for approving and funding a digital census, and we pray that government embraces the idea of digitalizing service delivery across government to get real-time results, because from this experience, we know we can collect real-time data as programs and projects are being implemented across the country. Also, allow me to thank and congratulate our technical wing, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, upon this milestone of disseminating the Census 2024 preliminary results that we have just received as planned. They deserve another round of applause. Your Excellency, these results will go a long way in speaking to the performance of the National Development Plan 3 that we are retiring soon. It is ending. And it has come at a time when we have embarked on the process of preparing the National Development Plan 4 that we shall be ushering in very soon. In fact, we have issued the planning call circular that has gone to all MDAs up to the various local governments. So this data is going to be very instrumental in delivering to the expectations of our population. We should be soon coming back here to present the plan based on the results of this census. We'll continue to prove to the people of Uganda that indeed it matters to be counted with these results. Your Excellency, allow me now to invite Honorable Chris Baryomonsi. I was meant to invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister, but she's not here. But she was the chair of the Census Council, and Honorable Baryomonsi was a member of that council. I will therefore invite him to come and invite you to address the country and officially receive the Census 2024 preliminary results for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Honorable Amos Rugorobi. I now take the pleasure to invite His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, to come and officially receive the results and also address the audience. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Okay. The Honorable Ministers, the Commission of Census, members of the Board of the Census, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and the Census community. I've discovered that you don't know how to sing because you are trying to sing a song saying Museveni